In Hadu's home today, it was sold to a family that wants to live there forever, just like the Salmons did. I first came to that home 11 years ago, where I was greeted with Hadu's "Get in this house," and Nana proceeded to ask me, "Where's Eric?" Clearly disappointed when I hadn't brought him with me. In later years, seeing Hadu hold baby Mark for the first time in his recliner, and Nana the whole time saying, "Give me that baby." Watching Nana and Eric talk about what books they enjoy reading, and her joy when the cousins would visit and all the babies would play together on her living room. The last few times I saw her, she asked again and again, "Who is that beautiful baby girl?" referring to Mallory. How I'm feeling today before going to that home without them there for the very last time cannot possibly match what their children and their grandchildren are feeling. I miss them so much, and I'm so lucky to have known them and gained a huge part of who I am as a wife and a mother from them. I hope I've made them proud, because I'm trying hard to get the biggest return on my initial investment I can. I plan to be as rich as they were.
Okay, tell me about the tablecloth, Lida.
Well, it was made a really long time ago. I'm missing all these people. I have to keep sticking in random pictures. I need Conchita to make a new one for me, just like that hand and foot thing she made. I need her to make a new one of those too.
And what do you think?
It had a plastic cover over it, so it was used daily, and you could stick additional pictures under the plastic. So this isn't a complete picture of the family, but it was a very unifying, lovely thing that Conchita did, so that they could eat dinner with their family every night when they were this little old couple in their home alone.
And they did, and they enjoyed it, and it was a conversation piece.
But it never got updated as grandbabies were added.
But that's okay.
And in-laws.
She loved this thing. She really did.
So who's missing on the tablecloth? People we know and love, even though their face isn't there.
Mallory,
Ozzy,
Mark,
Hazel, Posey,
Jersey
John
John.
the second.
and John first.
Well, I don't know, do we do that? We don't have the first, do we?
Well, yeah, we have other people's husbands on here. Courtney's here, right?
I thought you meant
We have a first husband?
ex-husband. John the first would be ex-husband, because she is John the second.
Isn't her current
Am I going to be able to edit this out?
First husband's name, yeah. Could you stop it? I'm not
Very natural
say the
about
exact
this.
thing again. Looking at this, I can't do it. Look. Looking at this room, I'll do it. This is what Courtney just said was, looking at this room, it's hard to imagine how much furniture they got in here and how many people they could get in this room. How'd I do? Really wow.
How much furniture? Tell me about it.
Do you want me to take out your casseroles?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to get dried out and just put the foil over them. That was about my casseroles.
Is that Granny?
Yes, that's Granny. Say,
that
yes,
Granny?
that's Granny.
That's
Yes.
Granny. Yes,
That
it is.
Is this
yes,
Lida?
It is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
She
It's
won't-
Lida.
Yes,
It is.
Yeah, look, she's doing it.
Can we
grab your glasses off? Hi. She's all about Sally.
Yes, I'm gonna get him.
You can't grab my glasses.
Get him, Posey.
Give her a kiss.
Posey.
Oh,
What am I doing?
she's like, forget this lemon. Mallory.
Sitting at dinner one night, and I was across the table from Conchita, and I said something that just threw her into a rage.
I can
and
see
she
that.
took a Brussels sprout and flicked it off of her fork, and it hit me in the middle of my forehead. I had butter running down my face, and everybody laughed. They laughed.
It's the funniest thing in the world.
The Brussels sprout flipped.
I got it right in the center, by the way.
Even the parents laughed.
Like mother, like daughter, I got it right in the center.
They
my
didn't
first
know what
try.
to do because they really wanted, they knew that they should be jumping on the flicker,
But it was also really funny.
but it was
And
so
it wouldn't
funny.
have been funny if she hadn't deserved it, right?
I didn't deserve it.
But you don't remember. That's not what I heard. I heard.
I should have gotten her into anger management immediately.
How old were you guys?
High school.
Anger management. Somebody has to defend the flicker.
You know what? How are we going to get
I
this?
think we are.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Very good.
You look just like.
Anytime you'd like to flick.
I can just flick like this.
Well, there's supposed to be a fork, but that's okay.
Oh, I have
It
a
happened
fork.
originally on a fork.
Say
I brought a fork.
Just try it any way you want for now.
action.
Yep. Action, go.
Action.
Oh, not as good as I was back in 19 whatever. Oh, almost. Very good. Okay.
What?
Alligator.
Oh, the alligator
big deal. There used to be, behind the houses over here, there was a creek that's now been covered up with a big drain tube, you know, big tall one.
Sad.
But there was a young man that lived in a house right over there, and he and I were over in the creek behind George Borden's house where we had our fort, which
Wait,
is down
that
the
was the
corner.
Peeping Tom. Was that
No, no.
George?
George Borden was a peeping Tom.
Okay.
But,
He was a
So
peeping
you hung
Tom.
out with the Peeping Tom.
but we were down there in the creek and we found this little 26-inch alligator, about that big.
Oh my God.
And we assumed that somebody had gotten it as a pet or bought it somewhere or something and got too big and they let it go in the creek or it got out. We don't know for sure. Because right in the pipe, there was a pipe right there, a drain, a big 4-foot drain that ran all the way up to Clarendon. And so it could have gotten out anywhere up in that area and come down through the drain. We don't know.
Oh my God.
But we kept it for, I don't know, a week or two. I think we took it to school even, you know, and to show it off. But then we wanted, I mean, our parents were going to let us keep it. And we couldn't find anybody to give it to. And finally, I think somebody from the Washington Zoo came and got it from us. And I don't know what happened after that.
That is hilarious. That's a pretty big alligator.
So you kept it in the basement.
Yeah, we kept it in our big wash tub.
Oh my goodness. When did you feed it? For a week.
You know, I don't even remember. You know, we may not have fed it anything.
I think you fed a hamburger. That's what I
Something
remember.
like that. I probably had something.
Yeah.
But that was the alligator.
Now, as long as we've got you on camera here,
You were recording?
we'd like, yes, I'm recording. We'd like to ask you about the large yew trees that used to be in front of the house that served as a way for you to sneak in and out of the house without your parents ever knowing about it.
Well, what about them? I mean, they're gone. They avoided it.
Is
What
it-
she's talking about, there used to be trees. When we first moved into this house, there were 2 yew trees right there on both corners, and they just barely came up to the roof of the house, didn't they? Mm-hmm. But they kept getting taller and taller. And what was so nice about them were they were perfectly round, perfectly straight, and they had all, you know, these limbs sticking out. It was just like a ladder. And this was before the fire of '63. And so I would go out the window, because that end of the upstairs was the same as this end of the upstairs, you know, with the window. I would go out that window and down the trees. Actually, I didn't go, well, I would go out sometimes too, but a lot of times I would come back in that way too, when I didn't want them to know that I had been out or.
And where were you?
Yeah.
Where were you going?
I was running over into the district because back then it was 18 to drink in the district, and even at 16 you could drink all the beer you wanted. And why in the world we didn't kill ourselves, I'll never know. I can remember coming home from over there driving, drunk as a skunk. I'm serious. I don't know why we
Did you
never.
say that?
Yes, excuse me, would you please turn to that young man right next to you and tell him why that's such a bad idea?
It's a lot of fun.
I'm wondering how you made it back up the tree.
Oh, yeah, well, actually, I probably wasn't doing that much drinking when I was climbing up and down the tree. It was later when I was really just going for beer and drinking. Yep. I would come home and Susan would have been home about 15 or 20 minutes before me because her date would have dropped her off the time I dropped my date off. And then we'd come
We had
home.
curfews then, ladies.
Yeah, we would come home, and so I would come upstairs and she'd be getting ready for bed, and somebody would be sleeping in the other bed. And our fun was to sit there, she would talk in her sleep. And she would be, you know, about half awake. She wouldn't be awake enough to know what was going on, but she'd be awake enough to talk to you. And we would sit there and get her to talk and try to get secrets out of her. But
They were being mean to your granny, Mark. What do you think of that? Huh?
Not nice.
Thank
it
you,
was
Mark.
fun, Mark. It was fun. You'll get to do it with your little sister, okay?
There are rumors of a ghost cat.
Yes,
upstairs.
there's a historical marker upstairs, and there is a theory that Tober, who was a very large white tomcat, after he died, you can hear him jumping off the bed upstairs. And here's the interesting story about Tober. He was like a massive tomcat. And he lived a long time, but for years after he died, there were white cats all over this neighborhood. I'm not joking. Like for blocks, there were white cats. Because I think
He was
He spread the love. How did we do?
he was promiscuous.
You did very good indeed. Do you remember the story of burying Sugarfoot in the backyard?
I don't, I was too young.
Oh, we'll have to go and ask
Wait,
Aunt
here, I'll take the
Susan for that
camera.
one.
Want me to take the camera?
I don't know if I know the story well enough, but
To be a piece of furniture, literally. It was a piece of furniture like this big, it was right here. That's where the stereo was. And Chico's room was up here, and he was like a geeky guy. And he took speakers in his room and put wires outside the house to the back of the stereo, which was like MIT stuff at the time. It was amazing. But what's the problem? You have to flip records. So you can't lie in bed and listen to music unless you have a little sister who goes, come down, flips the Dave Brubeck album, and he lies in bed listening to jazz. Yeah, it's a brilliant plan. Kind of a Rube Goldberg model. At all.
Not at all.
Susan.
I remember
Can
when
you,
Sugarfoot
I hadn't asked the
died.
question.
Oh,
Do you remember the Sugarfoot burial?
I do. We had lined a box, a lovely box, and dug a hole, and we're going to put the little kitty in the ground. And what was the man's name next door?
Mr. Shoemaker.
Mr. Shoemaker sticks his head out the window and goes, "That's gonna rot. You need some lime in there." And there he was throwing white lime all over our little fluffy black cat.
Oh my God. And that was upsetting.
It was upsetting.
So
But wait, I thought there was
Mr.
more.
Oh, she thought there was more.
Is there more?
I don't know.
I thought that Mr. Shoemaker told us, the daughters,
Go get me.
I thought that Mr. Shoemaker told us, the daughters of the veterinarian, that, you know, if you take them animals to a thing called a veterinarian, they can fix them sometimes. Don't you remember that?
Yes, yes.
Would you like to do a cooking demonstration while we...
wait.
Did the camera, no, we'll have to go, that's the camera
That's
over
the
there.
camera.
Over there, that door was the camera.
See, we cook here,
Yes.
and you stir the fudge until it reaches the soft boil. Do you want to test it, Conchita?
Yes, I would like to, thank you very much.
You're back.
Oh, it tastes good. Let's see if it's at soft boil yet. How do you do that, Susan?
I will get a glass of water, and you can drop a little drop into the water. Make a ball.
The fudge must be ready.
Let's pour it in the pan.
How do I stop?
Oh, you just hit it again.
So that recipe is that cocoa fudge recipe. I've never successfully gotten.
Garage in the back of the lot, and they were going to build a house, but they never built a house, and he converted the garage into a house.
So then after he and his wife died, years it was rented to members of the army band. They would just, you know, the next person, because they were like world-class musicians, you know, the U.S. Army band. But you'd be sitting here and you would hear just like the tuba part to something. You go, wait a minute, I know what that is. But it's just the tuba, you know? So you go, I'll start this French forever. That's it, I got it. And then a trombone player would be there. Oh, that's awesome. Wait.
That much.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving hit.
My dad will be so
Here we
You're
go.
the only one who's not resting on it.
Ready?
Their chin.
1, 2, 3.
House and we've lost them. What we're not losing is still here, right?
That's right.
Always will be here. We continue to carry on.
Don't know where right now, he's busy.
But some strangers are going to be in it.
I know, but we'll be elsewhere and we can do what we do.
Who else would make strangers hang
She was belligerent and she's not leaving.
Go Shane, go Shane, go Shane. Woo-hoo! Raise the house, raise the roof, go Shane. We're very
No,
impressed.
I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh, look, you two together.
Mark is yours.
Try it down.
Yes, Mark is still hanging in there.
Get down.
He's walking.
There's like a place
Try and get down.
Okay, oh, good job, good job, good job. Oh, that Secret Service training for I'm getting it. Go Eric, go Eric. Oh, there's Jason. Nice nose. Uncle Chico. There's Shane. Who's down there?
You guys look totally normal.
All of you, yes. Is there anybody else? Go Sally.
Wait, I want this picture behind you.
Most recent spoon hanging.
I bet I know who it is.
Take
Oh my goodness.
Shane taped his spoon on his nose.
Yes, he did.
You look shocked, David.
You do seem very shocked.
You seem more shocked than most.
What is that you're right next to, that's right next to you?
Post
No, those blue things that seem to look a lot like this.
tape.
They're,
Are you making an accusation here?
I'm just asking for full disclosure. Full disclosure.
And if by some chance I had suggested tape, what would be so bad about that?
You would be disqualified,
Wouldn't
and
I
all
be-
of your
I was-
spoon hanging
You'd be a
trophies
criminal
would
by
now be
default.
gone.
Do you think an ameliorating factor might be that I was just trying to help out Shane?
Well, I think this makes me
Who was
question every
otherwise
contest you've won in the
Although
past.
Shane was otherwise spoon deficient.
Yeah, well, actually, Shane's
And
using
we
a
have
big
to help
spoon.
out.
Is
We
this
have
taping?
to-
It's kind
big
of like
spoon.
doping
We
and
have to help
cycling.
out
Yeah,
those
it is.
that are
The
less.
taping is just like
Live
doping.
strong. Live strong.
And could I point something out? You're having a little bit too much fun throwing the Brussels sprouts at Aunt Susu.
I am too.
Hold on.
wait, I can
You don't know what you're asking for, kid.
Okay, could you wait a
This is just the way it is.
That hurt my knee.
You could curl up like that and just sleep.
How happy and safe does she feel?
Did you ever see these floors before the rugs were put up?
Yes, when we first moved into it,
comes from like
we had the floors were all covered with Granny's hooked rugs.
Where are the rugs?
They wore out. They're long. I mean, those were her handmade rugs.
Oh, that must have been pretty.
We found one small one that was unfinished when we were cleaning out the house. It's a very small oval one.
But she made 9 by 12 was her standard. In fact, her goal at one time was to make a hooked rug for every grandchild. Remember that?
I never got one, did you?
I never got one either, but all of the Sanford kids did.
Yeah. Susan had one.
Did she?
I don't know what she did with it. And then there was one in the attic.
Yeah, when I carried it outside, a 12-inch rat came out of it. Yeah, we killed the rat with the black boxes to sit on the bed. Believe it or not.
Oh, no.
Alright, well, we'll make sure to. So the Utron was the one that
I think the most I've ever seen, there were
4 in there.
Four in there.
Well, 2 were really not. Like, oh no, they became waste. 4
4 in there, 2 out on the
there.
and 2 out on the back porch. Sunroom TV. So that would be 8.
8 recliners in one house.
In case you want to recline.
Yeah, by yourself?
Sure.
Okay, would you please start over again?
They've changed the drain. There's an old drain in the front.
Right, yeah, I
And there's
saw that.
well water in the front, an old pipe that used to be for the well. And now it drains out the back.
But then it came from the kitchen, it came right down. It didn't run all the way across the house like it does now.
Now it does, because it's switched to this other drain.
But you couldn't go around, or couldn't go in there now and put those stupid choices, because we're making all the choices, right?
I think you could. They say as long as you don't take out a third of it, you're okay. Some of them are 4-inch pipe, you probably couldn't put those all the way in. But the ones that are half-inch pipe.
Oh, yeah, you do all the half-inch. I'm just saying, the only way you can finish the basement is to do something with the plumbing. You gotta get the plumbing
You
back
just
up.
have to route it all together, is what most people do. They have little bulkheads around it, just in one area. People also lower the floor.
Yeah, well, that was, I remember discussion about that one time. You got it over to jackhammer, dig up the floor.
Because that's what they'll probably do, right, with the
If
basement.
they want to finish the basement.
How else could, you can't raise the floor.
I think
The
that you can
ceiling.
do it as is. I think it would have kind of low ceilings, but not too low as is. You can do it.
If you redid the plumbing, you have to alter the plumbing.
It's a lot of square footage down there too, really.
Well, looking at that back room, that'll make a nice bedroom and bathroom.
You want to sleep in the basement, Bobby?
No.
3 people.
Well, when it's completely remodeled, I would,
Okay.
but not the way it is right now.
Okay. Again?
Well, the sleeping room, and I don't know why this happened, but I remember that being the TV room. And I remember a little black and white television sitting in the corner out there and watching the stupid McCarthy hearings on that sleeping room.
I don't have that memory. Is there a sister in that room that you can ask to come and verify it?
Susan?
I don't ever remember watching TV out there. I just remember watching TV in the breakfast room. And sometimes there was a day bed in there. Nobody comes to that door.
Stranger! Stranger!
Who is it?
Just kidding. It's me. Hi, Mark.
Huh.
I see
Did
what's
Susan ever
out
come?
there.
Yeah, you can go. Just be
Maybe
very
I'm
careful.
wrong, and maybe we only did it
Granddaddy and Shane are
very
right
briefly.
Where's Susan? Is she coming?
Do you think the new
Susan?
people?
She's at home now.
Oh, I thought she was right
I
there.
was just looking out there.
We should just put a bathroom in here, just
Yeah.
put it in.
At the end of the room.
Well, because that's where they sat a lot at that point, and so I guess she just wanted a bathroom right there.
When we were thinking about buying a house, we were gonna do, make the existing bathroom into a Jack and Jill bathroom.
Oh, we-
And then put a powder room in the middle of the foyer, and then have the bedrooms open up other places, you know. Put a second bathroom right there. Little powder room or something.
It'll be interesting to see
What do you think, Mallory?
what people do to it.
Comments. Okay. Only strangers ever came to this door. That's very true, because I used to always come to the back and be welcomed with old-timey
Come in
country
this house.
welcome, occasionally with gin, sometimes bourbon.
And you just experienced.
Doesn't matter, go ahead.
Are you taping?
Yes, she is.
So Chico was actually way ahead of his time because he hooked up speakers from his bedroom. The stereo, I'm not doing this all the first time. The stereo was like a giant piece of furniture right here, and he had wires that went up to his bedroom, which was actually really brilliant. Nobody did things like this. But the problem was you had to flip the album, so he would send the little sister downstairs and screaming at me to flip over the... The result, however, which I didn't talk about before, is I actually know a lot about jazz. I listen to Dave Brubeck, right? You were into all that bossa nova stuff, Oscar Peterson.
I still got a bunch of those records. In fact, we had a friend in Austin whose daughter was in a jazz club. And, you know, jazz, especially little ensemble jazz, you don't see it.
She in elementary school.
She was in elementary.
Yeah, I was like,
But another, we were talking about the lack of privacy in the house. You know how if the phone rang, how you would pick up and you'd say, can I talk to so-and-so? And you'd say on the line. You remember how you read Rob's long distance calls, you know? But if Chico was listening to music, we're all listening to music, right? You know? I remember I was playing Joni Mitchell and somebody walked in and said,
never lied.
but somebody walked in and said, would somebody put that phone out of your misery? I think that was my mother.
What, 12?
Jason is
Wow.
I was talking telling Courtney about having the old patterns, and she said in Vogue patterns they would give you a label to sew in, and those, if mother didn't throw those away, if they're still in there, they're valuable. Take the camera over to Courtney and ask her now.
Okay. Courtney number 2. Read Courtney. Courtney.
My mom is calling me.
You were telling Susan about patterns and the old patterns. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dress patterns.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about it.
They sound interesting. I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
I don't know.
The Vogue. Oh yeah. The Vogue. If you look at her patterns and you see Vogue ones, open them up and then look inside. And if they have the fabric tag that says Vogue,
Like the one that you would sew
into the They're worth about, some of them, depending on like which line of the Vogue pattern, some of them are worth about $500.
I gotta go home right now.
That's right. And they're
Some of them
let
are
me
worth like
let me
$50,
tell you,
but
these
look
are in.
through them and look on Etsy or on eBay. People spend tons if they have the fabric tag.
Okay,
They came with two.
I ran out of storage space at my house, so I sent those to Susan's house, and she recently said, "I don't know why I'm keeping this bag of trash."
You should look through them. You didn't know.
Okay.
I mean, it ranges. Some of them aren't worth that much, and then some of them are like $500.
Okay.
Tonight, check it tonight.
Okay, we'll look. Katie is an expert on eBay, so she's going to help me. Good job. Something to say about this house?
Well, this is part of our history, our past also. I've been coming here since my 20s, since my early 20s. You also. So it feels like home. I know it feels like home for my children. They're going to visit. But as long as, like you say, we're all still together as a family. Oh, that's all that matters. You're having a hard time.
His ironed underwear.
Well, it's just the whole concept that Chico was the only, Granny had 12, 16, 18 grandchildren, only 3 of them were boys. And so she spoiled Chico rotten because she didn't.
The contour and all, and then it was piled with junk. It was just storage.
Right.
All kinds of stuff stored on the table, under the table.
Yep.
And I remember when Daddy finally went in there and tore the tables out, and that's when they boxed up all the chain stuff. But I was long gone when he did that. But yeah, it's still a train room. And it probably had trains in it for 2 or 3 years maybe if it was out.
It's our tenure in the house.